What's going on, you guys? Today I'll be covering the recent Nintendo leaks that have surfaced around the internet, as well as give my opinion on each of the beta designs and placeholders for the Sinnoh mods. If you don't know by now, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl source code was leaked sometime earlier this year. People then managed to dig into the game files and reveal to us information that we had not foreseen before. Information revealed included genders of Pokemon having different characteristics and appearances and in-game sprites. Dr. Lava, a well-recognized researcher, covered the information on the found beta designs for the gender differences. As you can see in the following picture, Pikachu will have the recognizable and usual design that it always had if it was male, while the female version will have a heart-shaped tail and lowered ears. Other examples of these differences included Espeon's ears being smaller if female, Boba Fett with longer hair if female, and Chimecho rocking a yellow palette if male. In the past few days, the early designs of several Sinnoh Pokemon were leaked by data miners. This information was again presented on Dr. Lava's website. Sprites for many fan favorites were showcased, and I have to say, most of the early designs and placeholders are actually awesome. To start off, we have the starter Pokemon. Turtwig, not having changed at all, is still the friendly grassy turtle we know. Grotto, on the other hand, has a slight design change in which he retains some more familiar aspects to Turtwig, and the shell on his back is not yellow. Grotto also has two small trees growing out of his shell instead of the pair of bushes we are used to. Torterra has a more dinosaur-like design as a placeholder. The resemblance to his present counterpart is uncanny. Although this design is actually pretty cool, I am glad Game Freak decided to redesign Torterra and turn it into the awesome land-carrying tortoise we know. Team Chart and Infernape had no visible changes, although it looks like Infernape's sprite was also a placeholder, but the design is still the same one we know. Monferno also kept his design, but the sprite that was used was literally his official artwork, turned into a sprite. Again, a placeholder. I love the Infernape line, and I'm eternally grateful to Game Freak for giving us the present design because in my opinion, it is perfect, it doesn't need any changes. A similar case is due with Piplup and Empoleon, who both still have the current designs we know. However, Piplup looks more like an intermediate Empoleon. This sprite was most likely a work in progress. As you can obviously tell, they took Empoleon's sprite, shrank it down a little bit, changed the appear areas, and voila! Semi-perfect Empoleon. I am not a fan of the Piplup line, much less of Piplup, but I gotta say its current design is miles away from this one, so I guess they did a good job in changing that. Up next, we have Shanks and his evolutions, who for the most part look almost the same. Shanks, of course, being the one with the most difference of the three. The little spike of hair reminds me a lot of that new Lion King character that looks like Simba when he was young. Luxie and Luxray almost looking identical to their current designs, with some minor differences. I gotta say, I do not like the Shanks sprite, I just don't find it appealing at all. I prefer the current design that we ended up getting. So, props to you, Game Freak. Wormadam looks almost the same. The leaves that are a different color and the grass texture is also different. Perhaps this was before they conceived the concept of different forms, changing depending on the environment that Burmy and Wormadam are in. I am neutral on this one as there's really not much of a difference, and I prefer Moltem as an evolution to Burmy rather than Wormadam. Okay, Combi. It is either very happy or trying to get some smooches. I honestly cannot tell with this design. It looks very similar to the current one, so I gotta say that I'm neutral about it. However, oh boy, look at Beta Vespiquen. I love the look that they were going for. I mean, this is just awesome. I mean, I like the current design. It's awesome that they give us like a queen bee, but this just has the whole Cacleta from the Mario and Luigi games vibe. It's just, I have to say, I do prefer the design. It just looks super dope and menacing. Just look at it. Oh, it's awesome. Up next we have, oh dear God, what is that? Pass. Right off the bat, Licky looks to still have the same design, but if you look over here, Oh yeah. It looks like Game Freak wanted to go a different direction with Licky and almost gave him this sort of goofy dinosaur. Spookier Bronson. Neat. Okay, seriously, who got hungry and bit Miss Magus' hat? Just look at it. It's just sad. Ah. Oh no. Moving on. All of these designs have been either really awesome or just eh. So what's next? Oh my totems!
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
They did not do this. I mean, I know it's a placeholder, but oh god, I love it. It's not that bad. I mean, it's just a dirt placeholder. That's it. Okay, I'm just kidding. It is really bad. Game Freak, for once, I actually prefer Pro Pass over something else.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Yeah. Now we are stepping onto legendary territory, and fair warning, most of these are not finished at all. I am going to take a guess and assume legendary Pokemon are worked on last after all the other Pokemon, because they just look like their soul was taken out. I mean, I'm serious about this. Starting off, we have Shaymin, whose design is still super similar to the end product. Same thing with Regigigas, who looks like he ain't got a purpose. Just look at him. Overall, not bad designs. They led to the way better current designs that we have, and I'm pretty happy about it. Now, if you had to guess who this Pokemon is, what name would you choose? If you said Rotom, well, you're correct. I cannot see a world in which this Pokemon is the one installing itself on Pokédexes and appliances. It looks like a plasma version of the lava bubbles from Mario Bros. Current design is leaks about this one, but I gotta say I still like it. It's kind of cool. It's just like a little ball of plasma, and then it's, you know, it's got the little spikes there. Would have been a cool pre-evolution maybe. The leg trio seem to not have changed at all, except if you look at their back sprites, they literally have different hairstyles and they have some weird antennas. And they are not that nice looking in my opinion. They remind me of the Fairly Odd Parents for some reason. At least in this interpretation. Now here comes the really awesome stuff. I have never been a big fan of Jan Mega, but damn, this design looks so beast! It's like a whole original form that should definitely happen. Game Freak, please consider original variants. Please. Hypopotas and Hypowden, a pair of mons that I still believe Ash Ketchum should have owned. There's something about this design that just screams brilliant in my ears. A normal looking hippo evolving into a monstrous sand-filled orange monster is just a really neat concept. Very similar to the end product, but the latter not giving the same vibe as this early design gives. So I gotta say I like the old design better than the current one that we got. Would have been awesome. The abominable snowman Pokemon would have looked like a whole Yeti. Diamond and Pearl had this vibe with the design of the Pokemon where most of them just look so menacing, and this Abomasnow just fits that case. It looks way better than the current one in my opinion. It feels more like a snow tree monster rather than just an empty Christmas tree, you know? And yeah, Abomasnow is technically a Christmas tree Pokemon at this point. Now this one. Holy Mother Aegis. Holy Mother. Togekiss. This is Beta Togekiss. It gives me like a strong Hoenn vibe for some reason. It might be because of how similar it seems to Beta Blaziken. If you guys remember that one, it was like a mixture of Blaziken and Latias, and then they ended up splitting the Pokemon into two. I see why Game Freak did not go this route, and they just completely redesigned this Pokemon. You can have a cute baby Pokemon like Togepi evolve into this menacing yet freaking awesome jet bird Pokemon. This Togekiss looks like he could go toe to toe with Rayquaza, and that says a lot. However, I much prefer the Togekiss that we got, and I'm sure we all, if not most of us, feel the same way. Next is Lumineon and Finneon, who are easily some of the most forgettable Pokemon. I say this from personal experience, as the first time I played the Sinnoh games, I somehow completely missed encountering these Pokemon, and I had to spend hours training a Finneon, which I casually just ran into, in order for it to evolve and be able to unlock the national dex. It took me lots of hours just to get that Finneon to level, especially because Diamond and Pearl were a little bit like slow games, so I remember having to come back to the game a couple times. With that aside though, just look at this beautiful creature. This design just screams missed opportunities. Game Freak could have easily added this as a secondary evolution to Finneon. So you know how there's like split evolutions? We could have had that, but I don't know, for some reason they just scrapped this whole design entirely. I mean, I like this better. In my opinion, it's just such a cool design, and for it to have gone to waste makes me sad. And as much as I like Lumineon, because I did end up using that Lumineon in my Pokemon Pearl team to face up against the League, I think this one takes the W. It really does. It just looks freaking awesome. Now, you remember how Jamega looked a bit more menacing than usual and just generally more cool? Well, Cranidos did not stay behind on this subject either. The fossil Pokemon look much more like a dinosaur rather than a Pokemon, and I can see why some changes were put into place. Rampardos, however, ho ho ho! It looks immensely good, bro! What? Look at this thing! This version feels yet again like original variant of the aforementioned Mon, and here's to hoping that one day they maybe, just maybe, might bring this lost fossil back to life. Here's a fun little game. Take a guess as to who this little guy is. No, seriously, take your time. Any guesses? Yes, it is Gibble! It's Gibble and his family. Boy, oh boy, do I have to tell you how much of a wasted design these dudes are. I can see a whole Garchomp fanbase splitting into two right now, debating which of these designs is better. Truth be told, this feels like Garchomp, but it also has a different vibe. I am happy with the current design, and for all we know, recycling this concept design as either a regional variant or perhaps a brand new Pokemon rival to the Gibble line will be freaking epic. I mean, just look at that red land shark. It is just so awesome. It feels like it is straight out of a fan game. It just looks that good, in my opinion. Now, if I was Game Freak team, I had to come up with a Pokemon version of the devil. I sure will pick something scary. But that wasn't always the case with Giratina, who seemed to have an entirely different design from what we know right now. It's funny how it has a diamond, a pearl, and a red gem. That just screams some concept value, because if you remember correctly, Pokemon Pavilion in the startup screen, Giratina has this like red flames or something like that going through him, and he just looks super dope. I guess it was a reference to that because they were already planning to make Platinum. I mean, they have to have a third version already, right? In all seriousness, this design looks so badass, and it could be its own entity in the Pokemon universe. I am certainly happy that they just scrapped this design and gave Giratina a better glory. Game Freak might have also recycled this design until Landorus' Tyrian form, so we might not see something similar be reused in the future. Darkrai was another mon who had an almost entirely different design. Apparently the Pokemon movie dedicated to this legend had some inspiration from this design, at least when designing the logo, as you can see. This design does not feel like Darkrai, and instead it just feels too edgy. However, it is still a pretty neat early design for one of Gen 4's coolest mythical Pokemon. I have to say that. Last but not least, the legend of all legends, the beginning of all, the creator himself, Mr. Arceus. Yeah. This was the early design, or at least the placeholder sprite for Arceus in the beta build of Generation 4. A lot of fan art has been racing around the internet about this particular Betamon, and for good reason. Imagine an alternate reality where the Azure Flute managed to be properly distributed without people leaking the secret mythical Pokemon. And as you climb up the crystal clear stairs on Spirit Pillar, the ominous music shivers down your spine, and awaiting is this majestic creature who seems to be something not from this reality. And the first thing it says to you is... That is all for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I managed to put a smile on your face, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of each of these early designs and which one was your favorite. It's your boy El Nato, signing out. See ya.